Bonjour cunts, if I had to start again from scratch, I was back out in FIFO, I was back in construction, I was back in my 9 to 5, these are the exact steps I would take to make my first $1 million in 2026. If you don't know me, my name's Ethan, I'm a 24-year-old from Australia, and 1 year ago I completely transformed my life from going from FIFO all the way to now having complete financial freedom, being able to travel around the world, be able to make money from wherever the fuck I want from my phone. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do the same today. And I don't share that to brag, I just share that so that you guys know I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Maybe you should listen to me, and I know that this stuff actually works, and it works for other people as well. I followed this exact step-by-step process when I was working out in FIFO doing my 12-hour days. I had pretty much no time to myself. I was working 3-in-1 rosters, so if you don't know what that means, it means I worked 3 weeks straight and then just have 1 week off. I didn't have any fancy equipment at the time. All I had was my iPhone 12. And the exact same thing happened to Bodie, who made 7.5K in a week following this exact step-by-step. Or even Ollie, who made $4,000 in a single day. So I know for a fact that this doesn't just work for me. It works for people from all sorts of backgrounds, from wherever you are in the world. As long as you have internet, you can follow this exact step-by-step. So now, let's get into the game plan. Number 1, understanding business skills. Pretty much with any sort of business model where a lot of people sort of go wrong, it doesn't matter if you want to do drop shipping, if you want to sell digital products, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, as long as there's a product or some sort of service like SMA or whatever, you need a certain set of skills for that business model. So when I think about any sort of business model, I'm thinking about getting into a business model. What you need to do is not think about actionable steps of how to actually do it. You need to think, what skills do I need to make this work? For an example, if I'm someone who's doing e-com or I'm doing a high ticket digital product, whatever it may be, the 2 skills that you have to have to make money is sales and marketing. It's that simple, because you need marketing for the people to come in to see your product. Otherwise, no one will know that it even fucking exists. And you need sales skills to actually sell it. Otherwise, you're not making any money. You're going to have a bunch of people in and then just sell none of them, really. So understanding that anyone can set up a Shopify store, anyone can start post videos on social media, anyone can do that stuff, but it's the skills that actually makes this stuff be successful. People will go into business models, they'll focus on just one of the actual actionable steps of setting up a Shopify store, setting up a Stan store, whatever it may be, post a couple of videos, and then 2 weeks later go, oh, the business model doesn't work. It's not the business model, it's you and the lack of skills that you have around that business model, which is fine, because that's pretty much what I'm going to be covering today, how to actually stack these skills. So it doesn't really matter what business model you guys decide to go with. If it's something to do with a product or a service, you're going to be successful if you have these skills, and how we actually learn them. Which brings me to number 2, learning these skills. Now, when people will go into a business model and they know that I have to be good at sales, I have to be good at marketing, I have to be good at hiring teams, systems, firing teams, managing teams, I have to be all these different skills, I have to be good at communication. They can tend to get overwhelmed with, oh, I've got to learn all this stuff, and they don't end up mastering anything either. So because they're not focusing on just one at a time, they're just sort of taking on the whole thing and then skipping maybe steps towards getting to the very end thing and then expecting it to work. It's still like a massive grind. It is a lot better, and I think a lot quicker, to just focus on one skill at a time. Just focus on sales, just focus on marketing, then just focus on team building, then just focus on systems or whatever it may be. Doing one at a time. And I'm going to be breaking it down, the steps I took to actually learn each skill to get to where I am now, where I can sort of go into any business model that I want and actually make it work. Which now brings me to the first skill we're going to be learning, and the first sort of chance you have to make money from your phone. Number 4, appointment setting. For a lot of people that don't know what appointment setting is, it's pretty much sales, but from your phone. And it's a lot easier version. I guess you can do it from texting. You can do it from just like phone calls with no face-to-face. There's lots of different ways you can do appointment setting. Another way people sort of talk about appointment setting or call it is SDR. It's pretty much the same thing in some cases. It's not always texting, sometimes you're SDR calling, but it all works the same. The way appointment setting works is there's a business, right? So there's some sort of business, they're putting out a bunch of advertising. The business owner's obviously busy running the business, whether that's making sure people are actually getting the value out of it, or they're dealing with fulfillment and all that sort of stuff. And they don't have time to talk to all the people that are coming in wanting to buy their product. This is mainly for high ticket products as well. So products above $2,000. Because these products are above $2,000, it's really hard to just get someone to click on a link and buy it and just expect that it's good. People will have a lot of questions. For something that's $2,000, there's normally a lot of value there, and they want to make sure that they actually get that value. value. So this is where you come in as an appointment setter. There'll be advertising going out and a bunch of people coming in, clicking on the ads or responding to the ads saying, I want this product. For an example, it's fitness coaching, PT coaching. There's a PT putting out all this advertising for his personal training. This fitness coach obviously doesn't have time to talk to all these hundreds of people that want his offer because he's busy actually coaching, making sure everyone that he's coaching already is getting the value out of it. So you come in and you're someone that is obviously talking to them on the business's behalf and then booking them onto a call with an actual closer. So when you think about it from like a selling perspective, most salespeople are selling, the actual product. They're selling the product. All you're doing as an appointment setter is you're selling the call. So you're trying to obviously talk to them, figure out if they're a qualified lead, if they can actually afford it, if that actually is something that they want or they know that it's the right thing for them, and then getting them booked in on a call where they can talk with a closer a bit more in detail about everything, and then eventually get sold or told to obviously go somewhere else for the value that they're actually after. But the big question is, how do I actually get paid from this? What happens is, just say you will probably talk to 100 people in a day. Maybe 50% of them aren't qualified. They're qualified people, but maybe they just don't want to have a call. They've decided maybe this isn't something for them, and only 10 book. Now what happens is that those 10 people will go on a closing call. Once they're on that closing call, if they get sold, you will make a commission of that deal. So just say the deal is $10,000, which is a pretty standard high ticket deal that appointment setting on. Each deal you close is $500. So just say you talk to 100 people, you book 10 and then only 2 close, you've made $1,000. And this is something that you can achieve very easily in 3, 4, 5 hours if you have obviously the right skill and you get good at it. The better you get at this skill, the more money you're gonna make because the more calls you're gonna book. When we say only 50% of that 100 people qualified, if you're really, really good, you might book 48 of those people, which gives you a much higher chance of people closing because you've booked more people in. This is a great job for someone that doesn't want to show their face anywhere. They don't want to post content. They don't want to run a business. They just want to be a part of a business where they have location freedom, a little bit of time freedom as well. You can sort of mainly choose your own hours and then also work for a commission instead of an hourly rate. So the better you get at the skill, the more money you're gonna make, instead of, when you're at a normal job and there's someone next to you and they're doing fuck all and you're doing all the work, but you're on the same hourly rate. With commission work, it sort of stops that. You get paid directly with how much value you bring. So the better you get at this, the more you get paid. Appointment setting was the thing that got me out of my job when I first started. It's the first thing I started with because it's such an easy entry to sales, especially someone like me who didn't know anything about sales before this. I was just a dumb tradie, didn't know anything. It was such a great intro to sales where there wasn't much pressure and I could practice the skill of sales, sort of get my head around it, around psychology, all that sort of stuff, but still make some money to get out of my job. As an appointment setter on a high ticket offer, I would expect you to be around the 5K to 10K a month mark in terms of income. Obviously, you can make a lot more than that and you can make less. Depends on your skill and also the offer. But you sort of get capped out at that sort of 10K a month mark because realistically, you're still bound by time. Even though we're not trading our time for an hourly rate, we can only book so many calls in our time because we only have so much time to actually work. You've got things to do, you've got to sleep, you've got all this stuff. So we still sort of capped, but it's a nice cap, 10K a month, it's a nice cap. We can't really scale past there though. So that then brings us to number 5, remote closing. So once we've been appointment setting for a little bit, we're getting some income, we're able to leave our job and go all in on this sort of stuff. We've got income coming in. The best way now to scale past that 10K a month, if you're looking for more, financial freedom, is remote closing. I would say you should be appointment setting for at least 3 months minimum before moving on to remote closing, just to give yourself a really good idea, especially if you're from scratch. If you have sales experience before, you will be able to move on a lot quicker, and it does depend also on how much work and effort you put into how good you get good at the skill, but remote closing is sort of the next step up. A remote closer's job is pretty much to do the exact same thing as an appointment setter, talk to the prospect, figure out what's going on, figure out their problem, if the product they have right now can solve that problem. If so, what a closer pretty much does is they're the next step on from an appointment setter in that sales process. So they're the person that actually takes the call on Zoom, a sort of face-to-face call. And really what they're just doing is don't think about, I guess, the Wolf of Wall Street, that real pushy sales type technique, that sort of stuff doesn't work anymore. Pretty much all you're going to be doing on there is having a genuine conversation with someone, talking to them about their problems, figuring out if this product is actually going to get them to wherever their goals are. So just say we'll use the PT example now. We talk to them, hey, I know you're obviously overweight right now and you're a fat piece of shit and you don't want to be a fat piece of shit. What's stopping you right now? I need this and this, I think, to get to my goal. Okay, no worries. Our product has this. I think that we will be able to help you. That prospect then goes, sick, how much is it? Then you then close the deal, and then that's it. That's all you're doing. You're taking calls with qualified leads that the appointment setter has booked in with you. There's no need to talk to hundreds of people a day. You can just talk to 6 to 10 people maybe. Each call would probably go for about 45 minutes, depending how much you want to actually work. And because it's a harder thing to do, remote closing is a harder thing to do. We have to be quick on the spot. We're having an actual conversation. It's not like appointment setting where we can stop, have a think, do some texting. We're just talking straight up. The skill is a lot harder. So that means you get paid more, pretty much. With an appointment setter, they only normally averagely get about 5% of the deal. With remote closers, they get about 10%, if not more. So for an example, again, just say the offer's $10,000 and you're a remote closer. If you take 6 calls a day, that's about 6 hours work because each call is 45 minutes. The average closing percentage for a decent closer is 30%. So that is $2,000 in a day. Obviously, the better you get at this skill, you might have a higher closing percentage than 30%, which means you can close 3, 4, 5 people a day. Or you can take even more calls. You can take as many calls as you want. You can take 10 calls a day. You can take as many as you want and give yourself a higher chance of closing people and making more money. The good thing about this job is obviously we have to show our face on Zoom. Not always, but most of the time. It's a lot better if you do show your face, but you're not putting it out on the internet. We can choose our own hours. We can do it from wherever we want, and we can make a massive amount of money. The earning potential of a remote closer obviously depends on a lot of different stuff. There's people out there that are making $1 million a year from remote closing, but that is a smaller percentage of people that have dedicated their life to sales and they really want to get good at the skill and they're on a really good offer. Not to say that you can't do that. You're more than likely to go do that, but it's hard to get to that level in a year. Something more realistic would be anywhere between 10K and 30K a month as a remote closer. Now with these two jobs, we're pretty much learning the skill of sales. We're learning the skill of sales to be able to convince people that our product is actually good, it's what they need, and we're actually going to get them to their goals, which is a super important skill in any business. It's a high income skill. Businesses with high ticket products scream for good closers. There are so many job opportunities out there right now. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's only going to get bigger as well. And if you're not capitalizing on this skill like right now before 2026, you're missing out. Right, so now that we've pretty much got the foundations of sales, the best way to learn stuff is obviously just by doing it. Obviously I can run through a whole sales framework and you guys write it down in your notepad and everything's sweet and you've learnt sales and you go tell people you learned sales, but you'll still suck. Things like sales takes time, it takes practice of actually doing the thing. These jobs allow you to practice it every single day, make money, to work towards maybe something bigger in the future, like selling your own digital product or your own high ticket product. Which then brings me to content and personal branding. Obviously, a lot of you guys, I reckon, would know that being any sort of influencer or anywhere on social media has a massive earning potential, because now we're not tying our money to our time. We're tying it to the value we're bringing, to tying it to, I guess, the skill of marketing. How good are we at going viral? We can spend 20 minutes on a video and have it have unlimited reach because it's the internet, and just say it's an ad for your new clothing brand and get fucking 700 sales, which is more than enough. But it only took us that 20 minutes work making the video to actually make that $70,000. I understand not many people want to get on social media. They don't want to show their face. They don't want to put themselves out there, which is fine. I completely understand it. But if we want to scale past that 30, 40K a month goal, we're probably going to have to go to content or something along those lines, or some sort of management, because with closing, we're still capped because we can only take so many calls a day. We're still trading we're not trading time for money, but we're trading our skill, but we're still capped with how much skill we can deliver. Content though, there's pretty much no limit. It's the whole internet, it's the whole world. We have unlimited amounts of people we can sell to. The skill of going viral just by itself is super valuable, because wherever attention goes, money flows. is the sort of saying. And to give you an example of this, if we think of someone like Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor has an alcohol company, and the alcohol company's worth something ridiculous, millions and millions and millions of dollars. It's not worth millions and millions of dollars because his whiskey or his rum or whatever it is the best rum ever and it's super good and everyone loves it. It's worth so much because Conor McGregor has so much attention in the media, which means he has so much attention on his brands. Whatever eyeballs are going to, that's where the money is. Or for another example, Kim Kardashian or one of the Kardashians have a makeup company with lipstick and all that sort of shit. It's probably not the best lipstick in the fucking world, but they have so much attention and they got so good at going viral and they have such a big personal brand. It doesn't fucking matter because it's Kylie Jenner's thing or whatever Kardashian or whatever. It's her fucking makeup. I'm not a makeup guy, but I don't know fucking anything about makeup. But that's the only reason it's worth so much and they can make so much is because they have so many eyeballs on it. Obviously, lots of different ways we can monetize with content if you do master the skill of going viral. We can do physical products, we can do digital products, but normally everything sort of has, like, there's two main things. You're either doing physical products or you're doing digital products. Now, digital products doesn't always mean an ebook or a guide or whatever it may be. It might be online PT, or your digital product might just be advertising, you making videos about that thing. Your digital product might be an editing agency. Your digital product might be you're doing affiliate marketing and your product to the business that you're affiliate marketing for are videos. Even if you're an affiliate for a physical product, like some weight loss products or Tupperware or whatever the fuck you want to be an affiliate for, you're not selling Tupperware, you're not selling fitness programs, you're not selling that t-shirt, you're selling your videos to that business, and that's why it's a digital product. Digital products are so much better than a physical product, and I'll explain why. Obviously, physical products are still very profitable, merch, clothing brands, all that sort of stuff, but with a physical product working online, we have to worry about shipping, we have to worry about supplies. There's a lot higher cost to actually get something. Every time something comes in, just say we get a t-shirt in and someone buys it, we have to replace it. With digital products, we can just make it once, or we can just have it once and sell it an infinite amount of times. Don't have to worry about shipping, don't have to worry about supplies, don't have to worry about any of that sort of bullshit, and the profit margins of a digital product are so much higher. So I deal with just digital products. That's the only thing I deal with because the profit margins are so much more worth it. And I suggest you guys do the same. You don't have to. You can do physical products if you want, but it's all the same thing. It's marketing that actually makes it go well. It's not because you have the best t-shirt. It's not because you have the best socks on the fucking internet. It's because you have the best marketing that actually makes the most money. Now it's time for number 7, which is sort of one thing I wanted to talk about. If you guys are thinking about starting your own product, or you're thinking about selecting in a product or whatever it may be, there's 2 types of products other than physical and digital. There's high ticket and low ticket, which pretty much just means expensive and not expensive. So high ticket would be anything from $2,000 up, and low ticket would be $1,000 down. One mistake I see a lot of people make when they're coming in new and they don't have much traction is they think, if I go low ticket, I'm gonna make more money. It's a better option for me. It's completely wrong. If, let's just say, your goal is to make $10,000 a month and you're selling something for $20, you have to sell a ridiculous amount of those things to get to the $10,000 a month mark. But if you're selling a high ticket product, you probably only need to sell 1 or 2 a month. That's it. So you're dealing with a lot less people. You don't need anywhere near as much traction. All you pretty much have to do is just make sure that that product's actually worth that much and people are getting the value out of that thing. And I can guarantee you, you'll end up making a lot more money. Selling to people with money is a lot easier than selling to people that just want this $20 thing that's not going to give them much value. And that's where a lot of chargebacks and complaints and random things come from these people that are cheap and don't really give a fuck about the product. But when you're dealing with a high ticket client, they're normally a lot more serious. They understand that whatever they're getting into, they're going to get the value out of it. They're a lot more committed to it, and you're going to get better, I guess, reviews and feedback and build on there. When doing a high ticket product, or even just content in general, sort of the last step of it all, it requires sort of all the skills coming together. So it's not just sales and marketing, right? So just to recap, sort of step by step. First, if your game plan is obviously to do digital products or personal brand at the end, you can't skip appointment setting and you can't skip remote closing and just go straight to marketing, because you're going to have a bunch of people coming in and then not know how to do anything. And you say, oh, I can outsource appointment setters for myself, I can outsource closers for myself. Sure, you can, you might need to as well because you're busy running with your own business, but how can you manage those people if you don't know how to do it yourself? How can you manage appointment setters if you don't know how to appointment self yourself? How can you manage closers if you don't know how to close yourself? So you need to learn these skills if you want to be successful at it. Other skills on top of just sales and marketing, which are the two basic ones for making some money, would be, if you're running your own sort of business, would be systems. Learning how to create systems, learning how to pick holes in systems, learning where things need to get fixed so everything can run smoothly with minimum effort so you can spend your time better somewhere else, giving more value wherever it needs to be. Hiring and managing teams, you're probably going to need to hire and manage teams as you sort of scale up to this, because realistically you can't do everything yourself, especially at any sort of scale. If you're trying to go for anything above 30k a month, you can't do it by yourself. So you're going to need to be able to hire people and manage those people, which then means we're going to need to be good at leadership, we're going to need to be good at communication, a bunch of all these other skills. I wouldn't worry too much about those skills until we're at the actual step of building the teams and building the systems and all that stuff. I wouldn't worry about them until we're actually getting there, but we do have to do a little bit of preparation if our plan is the end game. We want digital, high ticket digital products, or we want to do a personal brand with physical products, whatever it may be. We need to learn sales first before we flood the market with our advertising. Otherwise, like I mentioned before, you're gonna have a bunch of people coming in and you're gonna make no money because you don't know how to sell. That is as simple as I can make it to you guys. Following these 3 steps, actually learning each one, getting good at the skill and making some money will allow you to get out of your job at appointment setting, make even more than your job with remote closing, and then explode your income with then going into content, so that in the next 12 months you have your best chance at financial freedom. So the next question you're probably asking yourself is, where do I learn all this stuff? How do I learn appointment setting? How do I learn closing? How do I learn to make content and go viral? I have free YouTube guides, multiple, on each one of these things, breaking them down obviously in a lot more detail than just the overview of what it is and what you're actually doing and how to actually do it, how to land these jobs, how to start, everything like that. I have free guides. I'll leave them in the description of each one of those 3 steps. But the thing I wanted to stress to you guys is I didn't achieve my results from YouTube videos. Even though I try to put as much value into these YouTube videos and make it as clear as possible to you, I didn't get to where I am by myself. I didn't do it off YouTube videos. I had a lot of help, because for me, the problem I had with YouTube videos and just like simple guides like this, or like a simple fucking course where there's just like information and just more videos, is that I didn't have anyone to talk to. That's number one. I had no like guidance. If I got stuck, I had questions or anything like that, I was fucking lost. The second thing is I had no one to give me feedback on the things I was actually doing. So I didn't know if I try this thing and it doesn't work, I haven't quite learned enough or made enough mistakes to understand why it didn't work. So I needed like that feedback to understand how to actually improve and keep improving. And then also I had pretty much no one around me doing this stuff either. So I had like no community. I didn't know anyone out in FIFO that was making money online or trying to even make money online. So it felt really lonely, like I was attacking it by myself. And it was hard to network and get connections with people so that I could actually make this a lot easier for myself. But for me, the biggest thing was just having someone there to talk to, like a one-on-one mentor really, give me advice, point me in the right direction, me practicing things, appointment setting, role-playing, remote closing, content analysis, all that sort of stuff. I needed someone there for that. And exactly the same with Andy, who made his whole week's wage in a day, or Wayne, who made $4,600 in a day. All these people that I've shown you, sort of from different backgrounds, making different amounts of money, they all didn't learn from YouTube either. They all had help, they all had a mentor, they all got trained in sales and marketing from someone who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. And because of this, the way I sort of got to where I am now you're probably asking, how do I get a mentor if I need one, whatever it may be, right? And I especially needed help with all of this stuff because I was a dumb tradie who knew nothing about this. It was just like a brand new skill. It was nothing I had done before. It's pretty much how it went. Now, because I didn't do this by myself, it would be unrealistic for me to assume that you can do it by yourself as well. Obviously you can. You can go out, go for it, try it as hard as you can, smash it. I've got heaps of free guides. Everything I've sort of know, it's all for free. I've put it out there. I'm not a mentor myself, my own course, anything like that. I just do my own thing. But it's hard for me to assume that you guys can do it all by yourself because I couldn't fucking do it by myself. Simple. After sort of been talking about this sort of stuff online for a decent amount of time, the number one problems I see with people trying to attack it by themselves is, one, they either give up, or it takes them way longer to get to wherever their goal or wherever they're trying to go, and they have to go through all the beginner mistakes themselves and try to figure it out by themselves, and then they end up giving up anyway. So what I've done is I've got you guys a link where you can book in a call with the same academy that I learnt at and still learn at. I still get mentored now. There's always more learning to do. This is a one-on-one free call with someone from the team who's pretty much going to talk to you to see if this is a good fit for you. Don't think that you're committed into it if you book a call. All they're going to do is figure out if this is the right thing for you and then probably point you in the right direction if it's not. But besides that, I'll leave that link in the description, and hopefully you guys got something out of this video, and I'll leave you to it. Bonjour, cunts.